Hello YouTube, this is Soundwave913 coming back at it again with a brand new video. And your automatic first question will be, Soundwave913, where the fuck are you at? Where's your normal review station? Well, to answer that question, I don't know. Truth be told, I mainly wanted to have some variety and other factors, mainly just variety and just, to experiment with the channel. But speaking of experimenting, here's an experiment. We're reviewing another retro figure. Wow, what a surprise. And in this case, we're going to be reviewing Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, The Fury of Fearswoop. Copyright trademark. But before we get into it, this is actually kind of an interesting little review because I'm kind of revisiting an old concept. See, around a year ago, I started a series of reviews called Last Chance, which is me reviewing a figure before I sell it off to someone else. And yeah, in this case, the figure I'm already reviewing is going to be sold / going to be shipped out to someone very soon, so I figured I might as well review this guy while I still can. And yeah, let's talk about Fearswoop. Now, a little bit of a history lesson. This was released around 2009-2010 during Revenge of the Fallen, aka that and Hunt for the Decepticons being the best movie toy lines. Maybe Studio Series objectively is better, but in my opinion, Revenge of the Fallen 2007 through Hunt for the Decepticons was fantastic. And we got a lot of new molds from Revenge of the Fallen. But obviously, with any Transformers toy line, they had to take an old mold and recycle it for the new film or new toy line, whatever you want to say. And in this case, they took the 2008 All-Spark Power Dreadwing, I believe was his name, and Overcast mold and repainted into Fearswoop, which in himself is actually homage to Generation 2 Cyberjet Hooligan, who sported these exact same colors. Very interesting lore, I know. And yeah, I actually still have the packaging to this guy, so feast your eyes on that for the rest of the review. So before we talk about the big man himself, let's talk about his two Legion-class dickheads. Now, obviously these are repaints of previous movie Legends class figures, in this case being the 2009 Sideswipe and Mudflap mold, again from Revenge of the Fallen. And they're your standard Legion class dudes, or Legends class. What are we calling them again? Anyway, so let's take a look at Sideswipe first, because he's probably the one everyone knows from out of this entire set and / like. So it's a Corvette, very standard stuff. Now, as for what type of Corvette, I've got no clue. I'm a casual car person, so there you go. He's got these scratch marks, which I'm assuming are from Fearswoop himself, so there's that. Very easy transformation. Not going to go too far in depth with it, so spread the arms out. There's the legs. Fold out the heels. And fold the chest down. And you got Sideswipe. Looking pretty solid in his little robot mode. I gotta tell you the truth, the Legends class figures during this time era as well were fantastic. Especially coming off the first movie one. Oh man, these figures were really solid. Decent articulation on Sideswipe. I mean, it's a Legends class figure, so what do you expect? So there's his arms. His legs can move that forward that much, back that much, sideways, not too much. He can't really do the full splits. And a inverted knee joint? I mean, this is for transformation, but what do you get? What do you expect? And yeah, fold these out because that's the only way he'll be able to stand up. Because, he had those wheels designs, which on paper is a fantastic design, but on the other hand is a horrible idea for an action figure. So there's Sideswipe in all of his glory. And here is Mudflap, everyone's favorite character from the movies. Everyone's favorite character. We already know the story of Mudflap and Skids. But yeah, he turns into a Chevy. I don't remember all the... Oh, wait. That is a Chevy Trax, and Sideswipe turns into a Corvette Stingray. How convenient. Thanks, box. Anyway, so here he is in his Chevy Trax mode. Oh, I'm sorry, the Chevy Trax concept mode. Wow, what a mouthful. But yeah, very simple little car. Again, he's got that silver markings, which is the only difference between him and the other versions of Mudflap. Unless there are versions of Mudflap that were repainted into, I don't know, yellow or green, I don't know. So, very easy transformation. Just fold down the back, which forms the legs, then move these bits to the side, flip down this bit down, reveals the head, and There's Mudflap with his big, stupid hand. There he is. There's his face. Decently detailed. Articulation's kind of a bust, although this guy actually has some decent articulation compared to our friend Sideswipe. He's got a decent amount of articulation, although no knee joint. He can actually do the full splits, so that's something. But these two are just the appetizers to the main dish. So let's talk Fearswoop, aka Generation 2 Hooligan. Aka, who is this guy exactly? Well, I mean, he's Fearswoop and his strength's apparently a 10, but his courage is a 3. So essentially he's like a Starscream, except not even close. The only reason I made that comparison is because of his courage, and he's a jet. I know, I'm great. Anyway, here is his fighter jet mode, which doesn't have an affiliated brand, so thanks Hasbro. But yeah, looks pretty swish in his jet mode with, again, the Generation 2 Hooligan color scheme. And I would compare him to G2 Hooligan, but I don't have him. I mean, I had one, but he didn't have a head, so I kind of got rid of him. Same with this guy, and I might as well say the only reason I'm getting rid of this guy is, well, I already have Overcast, and technically I own Dreadwing, but he's a little bit busted. And I don't know, it felt time for me to pass this figure on to someone else, so there we go. But yeah, going back to the figure, he looks pretty solid, you know? Very nice tiger stripe pattern, and, you know, overall just looks cool as a jet, and there's actually not much kibble to be found. And yeah, let's talk these missiles. These missiles are some of the best missiles on a Transformer. And of course, they're missiles, so they launch out. Let's take a quick closer look at one of these. So, the camera wants to play nice. Come on. Ah, there you go. It's a nice, I do like the paint that they used. It's basically the Overcast missiles just painted with a little bit of orange, but they work effectively, and just slot in back here like so. But I'm going to take these two out just so it doesn't annoy me. And he also has some numbers right here. I don't know what these mean. They could be mean anything. Whatever that means. And also a slightly off purple Decepticon logo. I mean, the movie Decepticon logo is already weird enough. I mean, they were made... And this one kind of is purple but isn't silver, like the movie Decepticon logos. Anyway, going back to this figure. Yeah. There's his jet mode. And he's got more Decepticon logos. So 4 in total. Fantastic. So I don't have any jets here to compare, but yeah. He's here's the size of my hand. He can fit in my hand. And he looks nice. Let's move on to transformation, shall we? So, you want to take these back wings, fold them down, like so. Then you want to take these, I'm assuming this might be the fuselage, could be completely wrong. Take the back cap ends, fold them down, and then fold the legs down like this. Oops, that's transforming without my permission. My permission! Like this, and fold out what will eventually become the feet and heels. And then, I want to come up here, spread this bit apart, and you have some nice little automorph. These bits fling up. I want to take what are going to be the arms and swing them down and around, and take the wings, fold them back, and around this time you want to move everything up like this, and move the arms forward, and come back here, fold these bits out, and fold them up. Continue to, well, move these bits to the side until they line up. Yes, we'll talk about that in a sec, because this is actually a legit problem with this mold. Open these bits up to reveal hands. Then, lastly, fold the canopy cockpit down, which gives you a head, and then fold these little side bits. And here he is. Here's Fearswoop in his robot mode, and he looks alright. I mean, this guy was supposed to be part of the drones line in the Allspark Power subline of the original 2007 movie. So, honestly, with the drones, they kind of did a good job in this case, I really like how he looks. And, I mean, this guy doesn't really take too much shelf space from the back, but if we're talking lengthwise, he's a long boy. And speaking of long boy, Look at his arms. They almost touch the ground. They're like gorilla arms in their own way. So let's take a look at that head. And yeah, that is a drone, alright. It's got some yellow light piping, which works pretty well, and some yellow translucent plastic on the chest with some nice little details. Look at all that sculpted in detail. If you really wanted to, you could have customized this figure and this mold in general, because a lot of the movie toys, say what you will about the designs, they have a lot of great sculpted in detail. And yeah, this guy is pretty solid looking. Now, as for the character of Fearswoop, because I just want to swing right back for 1 second, besides being a homage to a Generation 2 character, I always had the little fan theory in my mind that Fearswoop eventually gets battle damage and turned into Haunt the Decepticons' Terror Dive, which is a pretty solid underrated figure in my opinion. But that's my own headcanon, it doesn't mean anything. The only real thing I go off is both are Jets, both have similar color scheme, and that is they're both from a movie line. Very cool, I know. Let's talk articulation. Head can move up, very far down, like that, because of the transformation, and it can move side to side. Arms can move up, and they're going to get hindered on the wing, and even if you move the wing, they're not going to really do the full 360. But have an alright in and out. The elbows are weird, so you can't really get far up, but you can go far down. And then the ball joint here swivels. No hand articulation. Waist, pretty solid, and it can move back, so you can look up to the sky. Decent kick, and of course, well, you can do back. Of course, you got a very good spread because of the transformation. Bend at the knee, you could do that, and I guess a foot tilt, I suppose, and a heel tilt, but that doesn't really work. So, in theory, you can get this guy into some cool-looking poses. Like that. And look at that, it only took me 5 seconds or so to do that. This guy can pull off some dynamic poses, and is enhanced with his little missiles, which just add to him. Although one thing I personally do is that I don't even fold these out, because I like the idea of thruster hands. That's just cool. But you know what isn't cool? These arms. These suck. Well, the ball joint and the ball joint socket suck. This is a common problem with this mold. I've owned both Overcast and Dreadwing in the past, and I still own Overcast, so I can definitely say this is a problem. The ball joint doesn't go in all the way, which is the big problem. It kind of goes in all the way, but we demonstrate. It does go in all the way, but sometimes if you're moving it, it just pops out. Now, it seems with this guy, because I haven't messed with this guy as much as you would expect, because I've had this figure for close to a decade now. Yeah, this guy seems to hold up, but be warned, if you're getting this guy used, that is a potential big issue. So, there he is. Pretty solid articulation, pretty solid detail, pretty solid color scheme, but how does he stack up in size? Well, size comparison-wise, here he is next to fellow air flyer / everyone's favorite studio shelf warmer helicopter dropkick, and yeah, he's quite tall. Well, to be fair, our deluxes nowadays are getting smaller and smaller. And speaking of Generation 2, which is where this guy is homaging, as I keep stating, here he is with Siege Generation 2 Covert Ops Sideswipe, I believe is his name. It's Generation 2 Sideswipe, except they didn't bother to give him a G2 logo. And here he is with fellow 2008 Decepticon Drone Man Stockade. And yeah, these two do look pretty solid together. But yeah, even back then, these guys are, sizes were inconsistent. So, Fearswoop is kind of more of a taller deluxe, but back in the day it was more of an average deluxe size. So, there is your comparisons. So, we bring in his two rivals, Sideswipe and Mudflap, which on the box it kind of it implies that this guy is supposed to be very big. I'm not buying it. These are just two Legion classes you wanted to shove in because why not? I do not see Fearswoop as the big broadside type of dude, you know, the guy who's always there. He's the big dude in the back, but really doesn't do anything. Actually, wait, he has a lot in common with Broadside now, thinking about it. Anyway, so in conclusion, would I recommend the set? Well, if you don't have this mold already, or you want this mold and you don't really care for Dreadwing or Overcast's colors, I would say go for it. And hey, for whatever this guy goes for on eBay now, because I don't really look at eBay prices when it comes to figures I've owned for a while, and then I looked up Hunt for the Decepticons Look Not one time, and I said, holy shit, what is that pricing, Hasbro? Well, not Hasbro, eBayers. Anyway, this guy, I believe, used to retail for around the $30 mark, which for $30 back in the day was a decent deal. Again, I don't know. It's been a decade or so since I got this figure, so yeah. Also, I believe he was a Walmart exclusive. Could be wrong. But yeah, this set is pretty solid. You're getting 2 solid, small little Legion class dudes, or Legends class, however you want to do it. I say Legends class because I'm old school like that. You know what else is old school? This set, because this set is now 11 years old. And this mold is 12. Wow, I feel old. But yeah, I highly recommend this set. If you like the movie's aesthetic, and you like the drones, and you like Legends class figures battling up against the tallish deluxe, and you like your G2 homages like I do, go for it. This mold is solid, these two are solid, this set is solid. So, this is Soundwave913 with Fearswoop, Mudflap, and Sideswipe, and I'll talk to you guys later. This is Soundwave913, signing out. Have a good one.